Welcome to the third video in this series. If you've just landed on this, there are two other videos before this that deal with 100 awesome business ideas for 2014. We are at idea 51, and this idea is boutique mood boards. So my wife loves to wear stuff that no one else is wearing, and at times will spend a lot of money on a dress or a jacket or whatever it is from a boutique designer. So this idea really is, it's a membership site for people like my wife who can interact with maybe a handful of boutique designers, but actually get involved at the mood board phase. So what I mean by that is, instead of my wife seeing an end product and then purchasing it, my wife gets updates throughout the season of some items of clothing, and she can give her feedback there and then. So when the item arrives, it's sort of shaped by her input, which makes it even more special. So somebody says, "Hey, I like that you're wearing." She can say, "Well, yeah, I sort of designed it as well." I think this will be a fantastic service, and my wife was going to launch this, but she's busy with her other business and her teaching role. But if this is for you, build a website where you can connect both designers and clients. So maybe you just start off with capturing email addresses. Start looking for boutique designers and send them a playbook of your idea of this platform. Design some sample mood boards and send them to fashion journalists to show what you're doing. And obviously get those social media channels started today. But do something. Start today. And don't forget wpdemand.com. We can help out with hosting. You get a free domain name. We can help with installing WordPress. And we can also help out with other stuff like your logo and branding as well. Shameless plug, I know. Idea 52, coming to town. So this is an idea for an app that lets me know all of my favourite people that are coming to town. So this could be a band. This could be an artist. This could be an author that's doing a book reading. So you'd join the app, you'd put in all of your favourite people, your artists, your favourite chefs, absolutely anybody and everybody. And then this app keeps an eye on when these people are due to come to your neck of the woods next. You could put in maybe notify me in my town, or notify me within 100 miles, or notify me in my country or region, or whatever it is. You can have notifications. And the apps could make a lot of money from advertising, through affiliate sales. So if this sounds like a good app for you, then kick it off with a website. Start collecting email addresses. Find a web or app developer via Odesk or Elance, and then try and find a way. What's the best way for you to pull in and scrape all of those tour details and dates of bands and artists, and kick off your social media channels. But start today. Do something. Idea 53, my cause. There are loads of people doing some great stuff for charity, and I applaud them. And one thing that I've experienced in founding a charity, I helped found a charity called J1010.org, is that people are very proud. And pride, I think, is a great contributor towards people doing good stuff for charity. And be careful what I say here. I don't want to offend anyone, but I think people should be proud about what they do for charity. And people have Facebook pages and Twitter and websites like about.me that says, this is me, this is what I do, this is my LinkedIn profile. But how about a website that gives these people a dedicated page that says, this is what this person has done. This person has raised this amount of money for cancer patients or a cancer charity. And that's what the cancer charity would have done with this money. And try and pull out the end result of what that person's contribution has been. So maybe they've saved a child's life. Maybe they've helped feed 100 children, or whatever it is. And this website called My Cause will give them that page that they can be proud of. They can show off what good they have done over the years. Because they might run a charity every year, but we always forget what they've done the last couple of years. And I think this is very, very important. So how do you make the money, Scott? Because this is a charity thing. Well, Charities have got a lot of money. And I'm sure that if they could pay or link in or sponsor somehow to be featured on this app or website, you'd make a lot of money. So if this is for you, get a website up where you can start capturing email addresses now. Build an app developer to base it on about.me, which I think AOL purchased years ago. And then make a charity hit list and start sending them a playbook on what you're doing and why it's so important. And start interviewing people that do charity stuff and get their feedback and their point of view and their support on this idea. I think you'll be amazed at how popular this will be. Idea 54, funeral videos. Doom and gloom. But there's a film called 10 Things to Do in Denver Before You're Dead, and I think that's right. And in it, Andy Garcia plays a reformed bad guy, and his business in it is making videos of dying people that he can then give to their kids. It's a little spin on that, really, in that people will sign up on the website, they will make recordings every few months, and then they send in the recordings to this website. And if that person happens to tragically pass away, the family notifies the website and we release the videos, or we can put them together in a short 10-minute sample of all the videos that can be played at the funeral. And then all of the video footage is then released to family and friends for them to view. And it's a great memory keepsake. People can, delete older videos and keep their current video up to date, or they can start building a portfolio of videos that can be released generally. And I think this would be a popular service. I think it's a bit creepy now, but as we get more advanced with technology and comfortable with things like that, I think it'll be more accepted. We are all going to die. So if this is for you, then build a website where people can sign up and start adding video footage. Get a developer from Odesk to help you get this up and running. And journalists will love this. They'll crawl all over this. And the great thing is, at the moment, you will just host videos and get paid monthly for it. So it's a great, simple business. If you start this, I will definitely pay, I'll pay $19 a month, and I'll be your first customer. So idea 55, Intro Pop, is a music app. And what you do is, it's a music discovery app. There's so many music discovery apps out there, and they suck. But Intro Pop would be this. I would open my app up every day. I would put in my likes. I'd hit play. And in 1 minute, the app would sample 10 new songs that I've never heard. And it would sample the middle of the song. And while it's playing, it'll have a yes or a no button on my app. And while I'm listening to that 10 or 6 second snippet, if I like it, I'll hit yes. And what it will do then is, after the playlist minute, it will then drop all of those songs into my playlist, and I'll play them later to discover the artist. So it's a great, quick way in 1 minute, potentially finding or discovering 10 new artists. Intro Pop is a great idea. Fantastic idea. You can make lots of money through advertising and commissions on any songs that are purchased through it. Here's how to get started. Build a website where people can sign up for their email address. Put an explainer video up. So don't build the app yet, just throw an explain video up of how it will work. Then find an app developer that's got experience with music apps. Build a list of music journalists. Don't forget your social media channels. That will get you started. Don't forget to visit wpdemand.com for inspiration and help. Shameless plug. See if I can get a few more of those in. Idea 56. Minimal political website. I hate anything to do with politics, although I've got a lot of opinions and views. But when they come around and knock my door, they never ask, what's the thing you're most concerned about? Or, I don't know, they don't start with anything. They just ramble away why I should vote for them. And it's just so complicated and confusing. We need a very simple web app and a mobile app that lists the parties. Maybe you put in one thing that you want to see. Maybe I put in healthcare. And it will quickly compare on the app all the different healthcare things that those political parties have differently. And it's just an easy way for me to see what's important to me and what's going to be the best party for me in that app. And you could get a lot of money from all of these parties for being featured in your app. If they don't pay, then I don't appear in the app. And I think that would be quite embarrassing. So build a website where people can enter their email first. Start focusing on the next political campaign in your country. Find a web app developer on Odesk. Make a list of political journalists. And get a playbook sent out to all of the parties. And make it really clear that if they're not in it, they're going to miss out. Okay, 57. Recycled jewellery. My wife wears amazing recycled jewellery from Africa. And she... it was given to her by a friend of hers, and she cannot find anything else like it. Here are 3 examples that my wife picked out. She would wear all 3 of these, no problem. And the fact that they're made by poor African people made it even more worthwhile her paying whatever they're asking for it. So you could combine it with charity, or you could just be a capitalist and just find it, via Alibaba.com, for example. You might want to put your own twist on it as well. But it's big now. There's another example of it there. It's quirky, and it isn't seen as cheap. I think, being eco-friendly and doing your bit, I think it's all part of the in crowd at the moment. So if this is for you, build a website where people can purchase the items from you. Again, you can put a WordPress site up with a shopping cart on it in hours. Less than an hour. Find suppliers via Alibaba, and Etsy as well has some great people, designers and products on there. Make a list of fashion eco-journalists, send them samples and send them a playbook with a story behind each piece. And you will start to have a pretty impressive fan base straight away. And just because it's recycled, it doesn't have to be cheap. But do something today towards this idea if it's for you. Idea 58, book snips. I love reading books. I read them on my Kindle, and I also have physical books that I like to read still. So this is an idea for an app where it could be an iPad app, it could be an iPhone app, it could be a web app. But basically, it could be an email as well. Every day, based on authors that you've put in and books that you like, it will send you maybe a snippet of the book. So maybe it's a paragraph, maybe it's a page. You read it. If it's of interest, you tick it, and it will send you then a link to the book. If it isn't for you, you swipe and move away. So every day you could discover new books, but you've only got to read a page a day. You could even put an audio part in it as well. So if you're driving or running, audio part can read out a snippet. And I love that name, Book Snips. If this is for you, get your website, get your domain name, make sure you can capture people's email addresses. Get your social media channels set up. Build a list of publishers and contact self-published writers as well for them to take part in your app. Make a list of book journalists and get started with an app developer on Odesk. And just on that as well, I tend to use an app designer and an app developer separately because designers are good at design and developers are good at developing. It's rare that I find a good design developer or a good developer designer. But start something today. Okay, idea 59, 3D art. 3D is awesome. And people are still trying to figure out what's it for. Where are we going to make money in it? Well, art is going to be one. Just take a look at some of these pieces. I went to an exhibition in London 2 months ago, and the whole room was dedicated to 3D printed art. And it was incredible. You could not move in there. All the pieces had sold, and it was an incredible use of 3D printing. So if you want to get started, maybe build a website where people can view and purchase the art. So maybe you become a platform for this. Start building a list of artists and connect them with 3D printers close by. So they don't have to be a 3D printed artist, but connect the two. Make a list of art journalists and start building those social media channels. And once you've got your first couple of pieces, start marketing it via a playbook to journalists, studios, and generally getting the word out there. But start something today. So if you are into business, you would have heard of the lean startup movement. Well, a one-page business plan is pretty big and it's pretty encouraged. So I thought having an app that could do this would be great. And it really just needs to challenge you on the idea. What are your assumptions about that idea? How do you think you're going to make money? What are you going to do to test this? And it's sort of an app that guides people from an idea to maybe the first 3 or 4 things to do, which is a bit like what I'm doing now on this slide. This could be seen as a one-page business plan in a way, really. That I get people to build a website where they have a good domain name, maybe throw up a quick logo, but essentially people can enter their email addresses, design a one-page business plan with the questions, hire a developer from Odesk, and then start building a list of journalists that you could send maybe a video to, or get them to use the app with an idea. And you can either charge people money for this, or you can put ads in there for advertising. But I think everybody wants to be an entrepreneur now. We need to start building easy-to-use tools for them. Idea 61, a blog writing app. So what this would be is a website where people obviously can come and sign up. They then put in their... Sorry, I was having a bit of a brain freeze there. They then put in what their topic or their company is. And what we would do is we would use a website called BuzzSumo to pull up the top content ideas for any subject. And BuzzSumo will tell you what's the most shared content online right now for that keyword. It's incredible and it's free. You can then use those maybe top 5 articles to build one article that would then be the blog post that you send back to your client that they can then put on their website. Build up a prospect list of both the existing and new companies, and then send out these ideas to prospects. So maybe you can find a company that's local that hasn't updated their blog in over a year, which sucks. Send them 5 pieces or 5 ideas for blog posts, and you charge a monthly fee for doing that. I had a bit of a brain freeze on that one. My Dish is basically an app where people can enter their own dishes. So I make incredible spag bol, but I put my own twist to it with putting a few local sauces from the UK in it, and it just changes it a little bit. But people can do step-by-step videos filmed on their own iPhones with recipe cheat sheets for people, and you could sell advertising. I think that people's own dishes now, people are really interested in that. So if you like the look of this, and I'm not talking about this photo of that great looking burger there, build a website where people can sign up and add their dishes. So they can upload maybe video, or they can link to YouTube video. Find an app developer via Odesk, and find 100 friends to add a dish each to populate it. And maybe offer a competition that somebody could win a prize at the end of that. Build up a food journalist hit list as well, and maybe offer... try and get them to either put their own dish on or review it. And again, it's all about advertising and selling food-related items that will bring you money in for this idea. Okay, 63, failure training. That's a weird one, isn't it? But in America, they have fail conferences every year, which focuses on failure, why people failed, how to deal with failure, how to bounce back, how to learn from failure, and embrace failure. And being British, failure is not an option. Failure is final. It's unreal. But I apply an American approach to whatever I do, and I fail a lot. I don't want to, don't mean to, but I'm open to it, and I don't carry it on. I just move on to the next thing. Some tips in how to accept failure, I think, would be... I think people would pay for that. Whether you're talking to the general public who think they've failed in their career, their marriage, as a friend, as a human, or you're talking to a corporate bunch, I think this would be, in the right structure, a very prosperous idea. So you could build a website, and you could start blogging about how to cope with failure. You could hire a researcher and Google ways of how people deal with failure. You could build a course using somebody via Odesk, and even design a presentation if you're up to doing some public speaking. And then obviously reach out to companies and journalists and become an expert in failure, which sounds awesome. Idea 64. WordPress training for schools. Now, this idea came about from a tweet that I had from a guy called Ollie Barrett in the UK. And he said, which was a great question, what do you wish you would have learned at school? And I wish I would have learned about WordPress. I learned myself for years after, but I wish I would have left school knowing that, because I would have been more wealthier, more successful than I am now. I really do believe that. So I think every student should learn WordPress, how to build a website. And WordPress is a fantastic platform. You might say, well, what about other platforms? But I think WordPress is the best platform. I really do. And I think that, we should be teaching them that. So maybe you could fulfill this niche. You could, on behalf of parents and schools, offer this. So you could build a website aimed at parents and teachers. You could hire a WordPress guru from Odesk to help you design the courses, and then contact schools and send them a playbook and offer a free first course, and build up social media channels to drive the discussion about this. But it isn't just WordPress. What's the end result of WordPress? It's a website. Where do you use websites? Well, mainly in business. And what do businesses do? Well, they create wealth. So it's about the bigger picture, I think, here as well. It's not just about WordPress, but it's about the bigger picture. It's allowing the students to have the skills to quickly take an idea, launch it as a business, most likely on a website, and make money. I think this is one of my best ideas if you're looking for a few hints towards that. So start today and do something towards this idea. And don't forget, wpdemand.com is there if you need it. Okay, idea 65, Analytics U. So we have bank accounts, we have electricity meters, we have our fitness apps, we have various other stats like how much you weigh, body fat percentage, quantified self, sleeping apps. How about bringing all of these together in one simple dashboard? It could be an app, it could be a web app, it could be an email that you get every day that says this is where you're at. And I think that that's the biggest problem with quantified self movement at the moment. There's too many apps. I got to check so many things. I got to log into my bank and all these things just to get a bit of a snapshot of where I'm at today. So I think Analytics U would be a great app if you could try and make that work. I appreciate it'd be pretty hard to get everything plugged into one, but whoever masters that, I think, will won't be short of customers, paying customers at that. So if you want to get started on this idea, then get your website and a domain name up, start capturing email addresses, maybe put an explainer video up, and then hire a developer from Odesk and start working on this. What works, what doesn't. Connect as many friends as you can to this app. Find out what they want to put in it, and just get started on that today. Idea 66. This is a CEO dashboard. So I've just talked about Analytics U. This would be the same thing, but for a CEO of a company. So it'd be a dashboard where he decides what he wants plugged in. So maybe he wants production for that day plugged in. Maybe he wants to know profit, cash in the bank, employee sickness for that day. Maybe he wants to know the stock share of the business for that day. Maybe he wants to know what goods have been returned to him that day, and the top incidents of that day. Whatever it is, it's a CEO dashboard. He can log in very quickly. He can be up to speed with 10 areas of the business. And again, there's a lot of CEOs that are still doing it the old-fashioned way. And if you could show them this, I think they'd pay a lot of money for this. Again, get a website and an explainer video to show your service. Start working with a developer on the idea. Build a prospect list of CEOs to target and try and get their feedback as well. What do they use at the moment? How many different apps do they use? How often are they out of date with the information? Start something today on this idea if you're going to do it. 67, niche app reviews. Did you know 19,000 new apps will be released this month? It's incredible. And a lot of these app developers suck at marketing. And how do you stand out in the marketplace now if you go onto the app store? With 19,000 new apps. That's incredible. So I think there's a lot of app review service out there, but they're a little bent in that they take backhanders to review anything. But I think a niche app review service would be beneficial. Now, there'd need to be some money being paid somewhere for it to work, as well as advertising. But if you maybe focused on sports apps or fitness apps or food apps or whatever, productivity apps, you'd have a lot of people that would want to work with you on that. And you could also help people out with marketing, giving them some ideas and maybe upselling some other services there. So pick a niche, build a website with a submission page. Maybe hire an SEO guru to help rank your site for whatever your niche review app idea. Keep an eye on beta list of new apps in your area. Maybe set up Google Alerts as well for apps with your keyword. But do something today on this. Get started today. This is a quick business you can get going in a matter of days. Spin Dinner 68. So this is a great app. Maybe you're in town, you fly to San Francisco, you meet a friend, you say, should we get something to eat? Yeah, what should we get? I don't know. You open Spin Dinner. It knows exactly where you are on location. You literally hit the button and it will come up with a dish from a local restaurant. Any restaurant, any dish. It'll just give you a random one. If you don't want that, you spin again. And basically the app works by not just plugging in restaurants, but actually getting some of their favourite dishes. So you may go to a restaurant and say, okay, what is your top 3 selling dishes? And then you stick that into the app. And the restaurant owners pay you a monthly advertising fee for including their dish. And imagine you pick every city in the world for this. That would be incredible. But start off with your local city, build a prospect list of restaurants, and reach out to them for a dish or 3 dishes or whatever it is. I love this idea. Idea 69. This is how I would do it. This is a bit of an advice app. It could be a web app or whatever it is, or maybe it's a community app. But basically, you come onto this app and you say, I'm doing this. This is how I'm going to do it. And then other people could say, well, this is how I would do it, and this is how I do it. And you can learn. So it's a bit like Quora, but it's a bit more of a live decision-making process. The community, take part in that. And you could have, again, break it down into different boards: relationship, business, money, health, whatever they are. So if this for you, build a website, start taking some orders, maybe publish some case studies, and maybe get some journalists involved as well on that idea. Okay, idea 70 is for a blog app. Now, this is why I got confused on that other blog app, because I didn't know which one it was. But this is an idea for a pop-up. So, for example, I love the Buffer Apps blog, and they have some great stuff on there. But imagine a pop-up, a bit like the pop-up you can see on the screens now. At the bottom, in the left-hand corner or the right-hand corner, that says, thanks for reading this. Let us know what ideas you want for future blog posts. And maybe then it has the top 3 that people have voted up for, and you can put your idea in there. And it sends off to the author, and when the author of that blog sits down to write the next post, he can see that a lot of their readers want to read a blog post about this subject, and that's what he can write about. And that drives further engagement. And I think the idea here is the app, is the platform to host and fulfill that idea. So it's a bit of a techie one, but I think would be a pretty popular app. I'd definitely have it on my website. So again, you'd need to lean on somebody on Odesk for their technical skills. Maybe research the top 100 blogs and send them a playbook with a free offer. Maybe they can use it for free. And then hit tech journalists and bloggers when you're ready to start selling that. It's going to be a plugin, maybe. Idea 71, a social media stream review. This is a great idea. So what this is you will literally review somebody's social media stream. So say Starbucks say, yeah, here's $100. We want you to do a review of our social media stream. Maybe you look at their tweet and you think, is this of value? Is this of interest? Is the sharing knowledge? How does this rank on 1 to 10? And then maybe you review their Facebook stream as well. And what you do is you go through maybe 10 posts, maybe once a week, over the month, and then you score it. And then you can identify posts that you didn't think were helpful. Maybe a post, what's everybody doing this weekend? That's boring. Who cares? Whereas maybe Starbucks say, who wants to try a brand new coffee in New York that's not been released yet? That would be awesome. So it's a bit of a review service that uses, a checklist and values the content. So you could build a website with the ability to take orders. Maybe you could hire a researcher to help you design a checklist. Maybe it's a 10 to 20 point checklist that you do. Pick 10 brands and review them and publish their results on your blog. And then send them an email to say what you've done. And then people will see that and think, wow, these brands have paid for this guy to do this review when they haven't really. And then hit tech journalists as well and maybe review them. And then they'd start blogging about you and you can get some more orders in. I think that would be a great little service. Idea 72, police translation app. So this would be... There's a company called Chatlingual that have this amazing app where live you can put in your language and it translates it, which I think is fantastic. It's a lot better than Google Translate. And a great idea for this would be to brand this or come up with your own version of it and sell it to the police force. The police force in the UK spend a fortune on translators. And at the moment, they use a translator via a call centre or somebody offshore, and they pay a horrible £10 to £25 or more a minute fee for this. I think you could save the police force a lot of money and the government by implementing an app like this, where people could just sit over the table via a website or an app or two laptops and communicate. So check out Chatlingual. If this is for you, try and find an app developer that could look into this and possibly develop something like it. Find a police force and try and build a case study with it. Okay, idea 73, curated courses. So maybe you put in, you go to the website, you pay $10 and you say, I want to learn everything on the lean startup movement. And then what this service will do is it will pull a Wikipedia article together. It will find you the top best YouTube videos to watch in order of the level of content. It might pull up some business articles from the Business Insider with some stats and so on. So for $10, you get a course built in order of what you should look at first. And at the end of it, you're better educated on that. Yeah, you could do this yourself, but the whole idea is that it's curated for you. And the beauty with this is, I think if you built a platform where you could enter that content as you find it, and then that platform step by step takes the user through, would be even better. So build a website so you can start taking orders, or at least capture email addresses. Start blogging about the service. Maybe offer a few freebies. Maybe target students, college, university, and maybe business people. And, you can use Odesk for advanced jobs. If you need someone to do some research on heavier things. I mentioned $10. It might be a lot more than that. I'm just giving examples here. Idea 74, browser check app. I've worked in tech for a long time, and I would always ask people, what version of so-and-so are you using? Or what browser are you using? There's loads of browser check apps out there. But bringing a solution in for a tech company to use would be awesome. Now, there may be some out there. I don't know. I've not checked this. But I think this would be a great idea. So, literally, you would hire a developer from Odesk to build this for you. I don't think it would cost much. Then you'd build it into an app where companies could either integrate it into their system or they could have it maybe as a plug-in to something like Zendesk, or something where they could just say to a customer, just click this button, and they click it and it sends back their browser, what version of software they're using, blah, blah, blah. So tech companies would be your target here. And, start building a prospect list. And finally, in this third video, how to be awesome course. My friend was actually going to do this and he lost his bottle. But, being awesome can just be being you, or you might look at someone and think, I wish I could be more like that person. But it's about being more relaxed, being yourself, not really caring that much about stuff, letting go. I guess you could make this a bit of a Buddhist course, but without the religion, just all the practical elements of Buddhism. Maybe it's a life coach that could put together 10 awesome tips or courses. And maybe you're a coach as well, that you could run one-to-one courses after the actual course itself. Bit of a crazy idea, but, who wouldn't take a course in being awesome? So there we are. That is the third video in this series. And we've got one more video of 25 awesome business ideas for 2014. So I'll catch you in the next video.